All right. Welcome once again to the Independent Black Voice. I am your host, beatzillapdx official. And today we got a little interesting something to talk about. At least I think it's interesting. It kind of looks like Joy Reid is trying to do a pivot. You know, maybe it's me, or maybe it's her. But it appears to me that she is really trying to make the pivot to some degree, and I think we'll start seeing this in regards to Israel in the near future. But only reason because though is because it benefits the narrative against Trump. So since Trump is at the helm of this, now we're hearing criticism of Israel about these bombings. So, okay. So with these bombs that have been dropped, which may or may not have done the damage that they claim over to Iran, nonetheless, we are seeing reports come out that they're saying people leaked information, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at it as this isn't Trump's situation. And I just wonder how much courage will it take for people to really call out the true evil in this situation. And it is not anti-Semitic to call out evil. It's the righteous thing to do. And some reason in recent years, it's been morphed into something else. And, there's a lot of controversy, shall we say, as was already prescribed in the Bible. So we knew that would be the case. So not really anything to be surprised by, but what's surprising is the people who are turning. Because again, if all of this was happening under Joe Biden or Kamala Harris's watch, do y'all think that Kamala Harris would have even questioned Israel? And everybody right now would be, let's just go right along with it. Well, Joy Reid actually has the stance of the U.S. has been arrogant. Realistically, that's most likely to be true. I think we could say we've seen our fair share to substantiate that. So let's hear what Joy Reid has to say.
The United States plays an important role in the world. I am thrilled that the United States is trying to police the proliferation of nuclear weapons. Imagine what the world would look like if it was otherwise. And I think that...
Let me stop right there. Do you know how arrogant you have to be to say that you, for some reason, should be the people to police the planet? And they should do what you say. And based on your thoughts of superiority, everybody should bow to you and should just do what you say, because these people, of course, are looked at as less than you. So then when you come to the conclusion to say, well, you're taking supremacy into the conversation. This is what people need to now understand, where the fork in the road should be for some people. You've been so gung-ho supporting Israel nonstop, bombing Palestine. You had nothing to say. And let's be clear, there's not a black politician in the caucus today or 20 years ago that has ever had a problem with our police forces going and getting trained by Israeli military to police urban areas. So when you start looking at anti-blackness there, you know, that's where a lot of people can't come calling for us. See, we know this. It's very clear. And so what he's doing is saying, I'm glad that we are standing in and telling people what they can and can't have. It's funny the arguments we hear here in America, but nonetheless, let's go on. I'm just clarifying. He is entering supremacy into the mix.
I will say,
the United States would still be
A
the
moral
only country that has ever.
Hold on. A moral voice? Is that what he just said?
Would still be the only. If it was otherwise, and I
what
think
I
that
will
to
say,
throw away
the
our moral voice
would
still be the only country that has ever bombed another country with nuclear weapons. And let me ask you one question: why?
Appropriately, no. You can't preemptively strike someone. That's only the devil talking. Because see, what it is saying the person I indiscriminately, unprovoked, harmed, well, they were gonna do something. And so now after the fact, we can throw all of these what ifs after our actions against these people and say, what if, what if, what if, what if? How does that make sense? How does that make any sense? Let's hear more.
Did the Iran hostage crisis take place?
So certainly,
I'm asking you why.
Fundamentalist radicals took over the government who
Why?
hate the West.
Why
Because
did they take over the
West.
government? Why?
Because they're religious jihadis who want to eliminate Western society.
They hate our way of life.
so certainly,
I'm asking you why.
Fundamentalist radicals took over the government who
Why?
hate the West.
Why
Because
did they take
hate
over the
West.
government? Why?
Because they're religious jihadis who want to eliminate Western
They
society.
hate our way of life. They hate our way of life.
Or
What way of life do they hate? What way of life is that? Are y'all catching what they're defending? So, I mean, if people sell you this as something else, I just want y'all to know what they are literally fighting for here. Oh, by the way, for all you nationalists and supremacists, I hope you understand what this means, right? That means that Israel is the chief house of white supremacy. Not America, because America has to do Israel's bidding. Also, hey, Black Democrat, you do realize that also encompasses every Black politician you keep talking about is different. How? What are they going to do different if they're all beholden to another country? See, right now in all reality playing out before everybody's face on the world stage is you cannot successfully have dual allegiances. Hope this is sinking into somebody. Either you're Black or you're Democrat or you're Republican. But see, we over here in the grassroots and the new Black media, we are Black first. And it looks like Joy Reid might be doing a little bit of rebranding here. Like I'm hearing this pushback, which is very interesting.
they overthrew the Shah of Iran, who we imposed on Iran because the Dulles brothers, one at the CIA and one at the State Department, decided that the oil beneath the soil of Iran belonged to BP and belonged to us. And when Mossadegh, who was the leader of Iran, the democratically elected leader of Iran, said that we would like to audit BP because we want to know if you are cheating us or paying the people of Iran based on the oil under their soil. And they said, you may not audit us. And then we overthrew him and he wound up dying in prison because we decided that we, in our arrogance as a country, got to own their oil.
Listen now. Now that is a position that no one should look as an honorable position. I just want y'all to understand that those men do. Both of these fellas believe that that is a honorable position. Honorable position. You understand in that part? See, so people don't understand. Man, no. We are not all the same. No, these dudes immediately understanding this is a war about supremacy. And she just gave you the bare but naked brass tacks of it, right? And letting you know this is about the oil. And I think that there is some kind of, it's interesting that they had Joy Reid on CNN. I'm assuming that a lot of these AIPAC people might be having marching orders to number one, bring her on to combat her message and use her as a proxy as speaking for Black America, although her people come from the Congo. But I will say, you know, she did point some things out here. Because what they want, what these people have to do is mask the backing of Black America. And we're coming out saying, hey, we ain't got no parts of this. And then guess what happens? 2 days, Trump is throwing them under the bus. So things don't look so steady. You feel me? You feel me?
Wait a minute. No, one moment. And so the hatred of the United States had to do with the hatred of the Shah, who brutally repressed the people of Iran for 26 years until he was overthrown within Iran because he was not their natural king. They didn't want a king any more than we wanted a king. The bottom line is the arrogance of the United States is foreign.
A king, what does that even mean? It's exactly what she's talking about. The arrogance of United States policy. That's a king. What are you talking about? They fully are aware of this. I mean, you know, let's be clear. They understand that. Where's this other thing I saw? 'Cause I need to. Yes, I did. I remember seeing that here. Look at it here. Okay, just 1 second. I'll do something real quick. So notice how these guys are on the defense. Look at my man's posture right here. My man. he knows his instructions, don't he? Now let's go back a little bit.
Overthrown within Iran because he was not their natural king. They didn't want a king any more than we wanted a king. The bottom line is the arrogance of the United States' foreign policy. We act as if people act in a vacuum, and that nothing we do has ever led to the hatred of us in other countries. And I'm not saying that hostages should be taken, but you just said because they hate our freedoms. Well, that's BS.
No, they hate the Western world. I want to answer one.
Wow. No, they hate the West. You know, that's a crock of crap. You know, they do all of this, they hate the West talk, right? But in all reality, is that really it? Oh, they hate the West. Oh man, you know, they just want to see the West destroy. What does the West mean? For those who probably could figure that one out. The Western way of life is them being supreme. They're desperately pressed about that, aren't they? Because see, when the conversation with Whoopi Goldberg on The View ended up happening, and she wrongly compared situations. Look at the steam and smoke they had for her to try to quickly say whatever is going on over there is not as bad as black people have it in America. Yeah, and Whoopi Goldberg and even Sonny kind of chimed in on that, which is actually very interesting. But yeah, it is that bad for black America. And what's changed? Right now, we have Carmelo Anthony facing a first-degree charge. These people have been bombing folks nonstop. We got illegals coming in this country. Now, one of these black politicians will say anything on this young brother's behalf. Luckily, the people, the grassroots, stood up for him. And these people still worried about illegals. Can't talk about protecting our youth for nothing. Because in this situation with Carmelo Anthony, do y'all realize, and I'm kind of leading to believe, from all the signs and the posts that we've seen, the police leaked this footage to these reporters before he was technically charged. And if that's the case, then he's a minor. He's not 18. So if you're releasing this footage for them to see before he was technically charged and indicted with that as an adult, to say, oh, well, he was, people might want to look into that and see why was that even done, and who are these reporters that they trump the other members of press, but you went to specific right-wing reporters. And so what's really happening here? We need some black politicians speaking up. Jasmine Crockett, this is Texas. But see, they're still staying steady on what they're talking about. I guess for these people who didn't get that DNC check are feeling different these days. And I guess rightfully so. So there's another thing when old Joy Reid, and like I said, this kind of looks like a rebranding. Joy Reid went on the Breakfast Club and talked a little bit about why she was fired. And not that, see, I'm talking about the Israel and Gaza and the Palestine situation because they had to talk about it and avoid talking about black issues. But now all of a sudden people are starting to remember we and our plight exist. Interesting timing, but nonetheless, let me show y'all what she had to say. And this is pretty much why she feels she got fired.
I think the other piece is Gaza. And you just can't get away from the fact that talking about Gaza in a way that humanizes Palestinians is not the usual way that cable news operates or that any news in this country operates. For whatever reason, that topic makes...
For whatever reason, they're human beings, Joy. Why do you think? You're going to just soft shoe it, then soft shoe it. But those of us who know, that's called racism and white supremacy and anti-blackness. Well, not in the Palestinians' case, but it is called racism and white supremacy. And she's like, well, why aren't they talking about these people as humans? These are your colleagues referring to other human beings as less than. But at the same breath, those same people want to get mad or cancel somebody over not using the right pronoun. There's only like 1% of trans people. Why do y'all want to make a big deal out of keeping them out of sports? They're not keeping them out of sports. They're keeping them out of a gender-specific sport, since they're not that gender. And that's another thing. Trump and this and that and that. All of that Project 2025. Black folks are standing on the curb, everybody whining and crying and crying and whining. I want y'all to take a look at that. Because now everybody's trying to change their tune and be really militant and black. I don't know why. Now, she's soft shoeing it here, but let's hear a little more.
People uncomfortable. And it doesn't make regular folks uncomfortable, because I think the majority of Americans agree that what's happening there is not just a genocide, but is unconscionable for us to participate in. I think most Americans believe that, agree with that. But there's a discomfort with that topic that I saw in the policing of my social media, in requests to not like certain things on social media. Just there was a sense that
request to not like certain things on social media. I wonder how far that goes. Does that mean things that pertain to the black community? You're not incentivized to show love there? Not even an agreement? Don't want that to catch fire.
topic, it makes people uncomfortable.
Saying you want to see innocent men, women, and children not be killed shouldn't make anybody uncomfortable.
It shouldn't. It didn't with Rwanda. When the Hutu and the Tutsi were slaughtering each other, we very easily in the media said that was a genocide.
Hey, Joy Reid, I could do you one better. America chattel slave. America had and has the most brutal, besides them and the Arabs, by the way, brutal slave masters. Unjust slave masters. Took advantage of the people for centuries. Boy, I don't know where and why, and we want to be oblivious. At some point, we're just going to have to call a thing a thing. And if you don't want to call that thing a thing, then you're just lying and you're failing the people. Simple as that.
Right? I mean, if you look at what Russia is doing to Ukraine, when they bomb a school or a hospital or a music school, that is reported as barbaric. It's reported as genocidal. When they're stealing Ukrainian children and kidnapping them to Russia, there's moral clarity from the media, and there's no hesitation to say that what Russia is doing is evil. But when it comes to what's happening to the people in Gaza, number one, it isn't talked about that much on U.S. media. If you go overseas, it's on a lot more. And then
and that's kind of a twofold situation. If you think on the media that everybody else is seeing, they're seeing the destruction that America's bringing to other countries, and it's being the uncensored versions are being ran, so they get a real feeling towards this place. You got a lot of people here in this delusion, like, why do they hate us? Like, I seen them talk, oh, they're chanting over here, death to America, death to Israel. Do you guys see what you just did? And you've done, and you have a history of doing this? They are resisting tyranny. And you know, the way that they have found, the way the devil fights tyranny, or fights anyone combating their tyranny, them imposing, is to call the people who are the victims, call them what they are. So, it's like a narcissist running out to call somebody else a narcissist, or a liar running out to get in front of their lie. It's that type of thing. Interesting. Let her finish.
Or two, the way it's spoken about is, I don't know, maybe it's like when a friend is doing something wrong, you don't want to talk about them, you don't want to say anything negative, but there is a hesitation. I definitely think that's a thing in American media.
Well, remember how they did Nick Cannon and all these other celebrities for supporting Farrakhan? So to say you're dumbfounded on why, that's a joke. But nonetheless, it's a reality. And so obviously she's dealt with that reality, as a lot of people have. And I guess she figured, hell, them checks will stop coming in. Maybe whatever donors was giving her money, cut that faucet off. And she's like, well, shoot, time to go ahead and start moseying over back here with the black folks. Because, she was able to get her about 1 million views on her podcast that she had. Now, mind you, this is the second podcast that she had. She had, or may still have, one with Jackie Reid. So how is it that kind of did nothing, but all of a sudden Joy Reid comes out and gets 1 million views? I'm calling cap. You were already out here, and then all of a sudden it's like a relaunch. And, oh man, Joy Reid, let me get over here and get this good insight. Yeah, stop it. Some of these things are manufactured. And I'm saying, well, actually, you're a hater. No, things are manufactured. And, if it's legit, it's legit. If it's not, we'll know. Because these type of things don't last long when they're not legit. Simple as that. But at the end of the day, I think Joy Reid is trying to rebrand herself. But she is right, as a broken clock is right twice a day. The U.S. foreign policy has been absolutely extremely arrogant. So that is very true. But as far as her rebrand goes, and we're gonna start believing that the Joy Reids are down for the grassroots.
No, baby.
That's right. So we're gonna get ready to get out of here. It's a trip. Watching how all of these things are unfolding. Like, for instance, the Israel and then the ceasefire, and then as soon as you get a ceasefire deal, Israel turns right around and starts bombing. They find some weak excuse to send missiles at Iran after the ceasefire. That's what these people do, though. This is not new. They did it before with Palestine. So these are things that they do. This isn't new. And they're well-known truce breakers. Maybe what can we say? Other than don't take us with you. So one thing is for certain, all the things we are seeing are meant to be. And for Black America, for Foundation of Black American Freedmen, things for us are like as we expected, if not better for some. Because remember, they were telling us, they're going to put us back in chain. They're trying to get us on the plantation. Project 25, Project 25, Project 25. Man, y'all ain't heard of no Project 25. Man, let me tell you about Project 25. Man, Project 25, man, Project 2025, man. I'll tell you about Project 2025, man. Now it's here. This deportations and everybody walking right past FBA. Now it's FBA, come on and get involved, man. Come on, baby. Come help out, move out. We need you. Oh, man, they're going to come get y'all next. Like we've ever been left alone. These people are delusional. But I guess ultimately at the end of the day, the real true reason why these people have lost their minds is simply because Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. And we gonna let it fall while we rise. Can you dig it? Thank y'all for tuning in to another broadcast of the Independent Black Voice. I am your host, beatzillapdx official. And, there might be some of y'all that are believing in what Joy Reid is doing. I don't think it is necessarily legit. Even more so, you might buy into that belief that Kamala Harris wouldn't have got us into a war with Iran. As long as Israel say you finna send these bombs over here, what you think Kamala Harris gonna do? Oh, she would have stood tall and presidential. Y'all really think Joe Biden and Kamala Harris would have done something different? And y'all just posted it and posted it and posted it and posted it. Now I see these stupid comments and videos. It's really, not that I'm a Trump. We're independent, of course, as the title tells you. But to see the weak, false, red or blue wouldn't have done this or that, as long as whoever is in power is beholden to Israel, Israel calls the shots. Period. But if you don't believe that, after everything that has happened and everything that has been revealed to you, well, man, I got to speak for myself. beatzillapdx official, the independent Black voice. Those of you in the chat, the Black grassroots, and the voices of new Black media. I know I'm safe to say I speak for all parties involved. When we proudly dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Yes, indeed. Family. Thank y'all once again, like I said, for tuning in. And quite frankly, if you don't belong here, they are rounding up by the days. And there's a whole lot of people that coming out the woodwork saying that them being Latinos, they still gonna say the N-word and they gonna call us that, or when I use it, and ain't nobody gonna check me. Well, I'll tell you what. ICE can check you. Hashtag fire up the jet.
Happy birthday, we're celebrating you today. Like Dr. King holiday, we ain't gonna do any work today. Happy birthday today, it's your beautiful day. And we gonna party all day like it's a freaking holiday.
Yes, indeed. Remember, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put something in the bucket to support this channel, you can definitely do so by way of CashApp or PayPal. CashApp is $beatzillapdx. And PayPal is Zilla Muzak. That is ZILLAMUCAK at PayPal. And so until next time, folks, remember why they hate us.
It's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the floor.
You really about to do it?
40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
Hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Oh, Lordy me. Lord, 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 Lord. So, with that being said, till next time, family, y'all stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all. Have a blessed week.
One more time, we are giving it for a Charlie Marshall, y'all. We're gonna tell you one more time if you didn't know it. It's time to get doo-doo-dum. Dookie, I spell me up, bro. We got this, we know, get like, it's